Thanks for tuning in to the World XP podcast. If you're enjoying the content, please drop a sub, drop a like, and let us know your thoughts below in the comments. Also, please consider supporting our podcast via the link below. It really helps us out.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the World XP podcast. It's a late one today. Got back from visiting some family out of town. So yeah, it was a late one. Feeling a little bit under the weather, but still wanted to get something up. And first, just want to say, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving and a happy holidays, and hope wherever you were able to kind of relax and spend some time with family, friends, and eat some good food and have some good times and get away from the hustle and bustle of everything that's going on. In other good news, let's see. So I asked for topics on the Instagram page. If you're not following at World XP Podcast on Instagram, and no one gave me anything. So we are starting from scratch. First thing, something came out about Josh Giddey. He's a player for the Oklahoma City Thunder, doing some inappropriate things with a way underage girl, and I just, obviously that's wrong, but it's like, dude, what are you doing? I don't understand. Like, I wanted to start with this one because it's a very easy way to, like, this one is very cut and dry. It's like, dude, what are you thinking? Even if you didn't know, let's just say he didn't know. Why would you even take that chance that could occur, and then put something on your Snapchat or wherever he put it? Oh, I felt like such an old person saying put it on your Snapchat. But I don't understand. The world's at your feet, dude. I think he's like, what, 2021, something like that, rising, maybe not star, but talented player in the NBA on a team that's full of young talent. They could be going somewhere. And I don't get it, man. I don't understand why people, I don't know, like at that platform, right? You gotta know that cameras are on you and all these things. Just like everybody makes. I'm not even gonna go there, but just I don't understand. And going on that with online things, apparently with the new iOS update, there's a setting that's on where if you're close to somebody else's phone, they can get your phone number and your contact info just by having it on. So make sure you guys go turn that off. If you are at all concerned about your contact information being in the hands of strangers. The internet is a weird place, man. It's a very weird place. So much good and so much bad can come from it. Like the amount of information that's at people's fingertips and the ability to connect, and say like FaceTime your family that's all the way across the country, right? You can't go fly out there. You've got limited days off or whatever, or don't have the funds, can't go fly out there, but you can FaceTime them. And it's crazy. Like, technology and the internet is amazing. And then at the same token, right, then somebody can steal your contact info and scam you and you won't even know it. Make sure that I don't do a good enough job of this, but make sure, you guys, that you are reading up on various things and keeping yourself safe, because most of the stuff doesn't take that long. But if something bad happens, like, the consequences can be far, far worse. And I don't know. I've had some conversations about that, people who have young kids. Like, how do they deal with internet and kids? Because you just have so much information at your fingertips. Like, I was at the very end of, like, I didn't have free internet access, like on supervised internet access, until probably high school sometime. But like, kids have it now at like when they're in elementary school, and that to me is insane. Kids don't need that. Kids, like, you're only a kid for so long, man. Stay a kid, have fun, go to school. Try and tell. I don't know. I don't like seeing, like, kids that I'm coaching or training or whatever that try to grow up too quick. So I'm like, you only have this for once. You got the rest of your life to be an adult. Stay a kid. I don't know, but then when you're a kid, you don't want to listen to anyone, least of all your parents. Like, what do they know? They don't know what I'm going through. It's a weird cycle of life that everybody, when they become an adult, they tell their next, whether it's their kids or their nieces and nephews or kids are coaching or whatever, they tell them that. And like, no, 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 really, I wish I had done XYZ things. And then it doesn't matter. It's like a cycle that needs to repeat itself. It's like people need to learn for themselves a little bit. And I don't know. It's an interesting concept as well. I don't actually remember what I talked a lot about last time. I think maybe that was, I don't know if that was part of it or not. Let's see what else is going on. Another news story. So I just searched top news. Mars needs insects. Interesting. I wonder if I don't want to click on it because New York Times is going to be like, this is your one free article. Yep. Need an account. I don't get that either. It's like, why would I go do that when I can just listen to Rogan talk about it? No, joking aside, Mars is an interesting one, man, because I don't obviously climate change is a big topic of conversation now. And I think to say that humans have no effect is not true. Um, but I don't know how much of an effect humans have, right? I'm not a scientist, and there's varying opinions, right? Um if you Google climate change, you'll get a wide variety of kind of opinions on that from people who know what they're talking about, at least from the Googling that I've done. Um and so I don't know. So like what's gonna happen with the planet, right? Like are we putting holes in the ozone layer? And then some people say, well, you know what? Like it used to be global warming, then changed to climate change, but like global cooling is the one that I hear that we really need to worry about. Um, and yeah, I don't know, like how much, like what if this change can be measured in our lifetime to see a significant difference? How much of it is thawing from the ice age? Like the Earth is billions of years old. It's gone through loads and loads of changes. The people that say, "Oh well, it's just another cycle or whatever," I feel like that's not entirely true, right? We look at a highway during rush hour and you see cars pumping out gas, carbon monoxide. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And other people say like the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is bad, but like isn't hold on. Let me go look this up because I'm 99% sure I'm right. I'm pretty sure the atmosphere is composition. Look at that word came right off the top of atmosphere. I'm pretty sure it's mostly carbon dioxide. Oh, I lied. What I meant was mostly not oxygen. Nitrogen is 78%, oxygen 21%, argon 0.9%, and carbon dioxide 0.0044%. All right, here's the train of thought. I'm backtracking. Where my brain went was the percentage is such that the amount that we are putting in isn't making a huge difference. And I had nitrogen and carbon dioxide mixed up. So sue me. Sorry. So carbon dioxide is only 0.04 of the atmosphere. So that's an interesting one. And then neon is 0.002 and helium is in there as well, and methane and some other stuff. But so that's interesting that so it's like carbon dioxide is such a small portion of the atmosphere, and I haven't done any Googling, right? This is stuff that I remembering or clearly I'm not remembering from science class. But so I don't really know. I don't know. I think I wish that people, let's see how to phrase this. I think that is good. I think that is good that people are concerned about the climate. Um, but I don't know. And kind of what's happened is the last, I don't know, 5, 8 years or so, the corporate media and kind of the trust experts in air quotes. People are not trusting them as much anymore. And so it's kind of we're in this weird thing where it's like, okay, I don't know anything about environmental science, climate science, anything like that. And so you got to trust people that know what's going on. But then I've said this before. Somebody who was a lawyer said, "Well, trust the experts." It's like, well, I have an expert on arguing my side, and they have an expert arguing their side. So I don't know. More fence sitting. Oh, headline: Mars needs insects, of course. So I don't really know what's gonna let's see. If humans are ever going to live on the red planet, they're going to have to bring bugs with them. Why? I hate bugs. I ask that sometimes. What purpose does like mosquitoes have? Some bugs, like we'll bring some bees and butterflies and ants and stuff. Well, we don't. Do we need mosquitoes? And like, what's another gross one? Uh, some spiders. I think we probably need, but like tarantulas. I don't know. That's a weird one. I think we leave mosquitoes behind, but some bugs definitely, like bees and stuff to pollinate and butterflies and all that stuff. The good ones. I don't know. I think what Elon's doing is interesting. He's talking about like terraforming Mars and all that stuff. I wonder if we'll see that in our lifetime. That'll be a that'll be a strange one. And who's going to volunteer first? That's kind of like when the first settlers from Europe came over here, because there was no like photos or maps or I mean, there's maps, but like you know what I mean. There's not like GPS and stuff, and you just had to be like, some guy said it was pretty cool over there. Let me just get on a rowboat for 4 months and just land in a place where like dock on a place that I've never been before and nobody knows anything about, and then live. There's new plants. You don't know what plants are going to kill you and stuff. Super weird. It's going to be those same sorts of people. Um, yeah, that'll be strange. It is becoming more common though. I think you got like billionaires that are just going up to space for fun. Um, so I don't know. We'll see with that. Space travel is super weird. It's like we don't even know what's at the bottom of the ocean, but we're trying to like go out to space. So I don't know. Maybe the Loch Ness monster is real. Who knows? Okay, let's see. What else do we got? By the way, switching topics. Garnacho's goal for Manchester United, the bicycle kick against Everton. If you've not seen that, go look that up. Class goal. He's going to be a good player. He's just Manchester United have to get themselves back on track, or I think he's going to have to leave because like the development of him as a player, Martial and Rashford have not like Rashford's developed for sure, but not to the extent as if he were somewhere else. And like Sancho, obviously he developed a lot at Dortmund, then he went to United and kind of stagnated. So I don't know, but he's some player, man. He's super young. That goal was absolute class. Let's see, what else do we got going on? Nom nom nom. What's the deal with Cookie Monster's cookies? The New York Times. What are you guys doing? Are people actually reading that? Sure. I mean, I can't click on it because I don't want to make an account, but really? Let's see. What else is going on? AI. Don't know anything about AI. Biden's absence at climate summit highlights his fossil fuel conundrum. Well, there's clear evidence by my knowledge of the atmosphere, which is mostly nitrogen. I know a lot about that. No, I don't know anything about that. Let's see. 11 more hostages freed. Well, that's good news. Yeah, that's another thing that's going on that's interesting is the Ukraine war obviously still going on, and then we've got this Israel I'll call it Israel Hamas war. And I don't really know what the after Afghanistan didn't end that long, like 3 years, 2, 3 years ago, it didn't end that long ago, and people were like, "Oh, we gotta be done with this. We gotta be done um with war. Like, why are we sending our soldiers to fight in these foreign conflicts?" And now here we are again saying like, "Oh, we need to give Israel whatever they need," and it's like, what if Netanyahu's like, "Yeah, we need some troops." Then what? Then what are we gonna do? What if Hezbollah gets involved, or Iran gets involved, or like we've got bases over there. I think Syria's fired a couple missiles, and it's like, well, they're in harm's way, but for what? Like, why? I don't get it. I don't get where. I don't know, right? Like, let's not pretend that those countries or regimes over there are perfect. Like, let's get that out of the way. But at the same time, like if you read um like Bin Laden's letter to America, he's like, "Oh, I'm doing 9/11 because you guys are propping up dictators, or you got bases in our holy land and all these other things. So because you say that you elect your government, I'm going to attack the people," which is totally wrong, obviously. It's like that collective punishment thing from the Geneva Convention. But and some of like the preemptive stuff, and this is the stuff that we'll never know, because what if, like, we'll never know what has been prevented. Um, and so we're supposed to just trust on face value that our best interests are in mind. And a comedian had a great bit about this. He was saying like, being a conspiracy theorist can be kind of wacky, but like you don't have to believe in all of them, but some of them, like you just believe that they're batting 1,000. Like, government's put in charge of all its people, and then he goes, "I have one son, and I lie to that guy all the time," and it's like, oh, it's a fair point. And some of it is like, say, okay, are they? I don't know. I just, some stuff like you can't release, like sources and methods and all that stuff. But it makes it hard now with the age of information, right? The internet, the good and the bad that we talked about earlier. I think is good that a lot of information is coming out, but it makes it difficult for a narrative to be just controlled in that way. And so a lot of people don't have time to sift through all that information because it's tough. It's like people have jobs and kids and other stuff going on, and you want, like, how are you supposed to know like what's true and what's not? Kind of, I don't know. You have tough discussions are hard, but they need to be had. But it's tough to really have those discussions if you're not, if people are not informed, because you have incomplete pictures and incomplete information. You have to be open to learning new things and accepting new ideas. And I don't know. I think this is one thing that is really good. Like, you, if you have the ability to absorb and kind of sift through a large chunk of information and draw a conclusion, but then draw that conclusion within, like, let's see if I can describe it, that framework that we talked about last time. If you have, okay, these things are happening, and this is the conclusion I'm going to draw, and then you know that if you get a new piece of information, you'll say, okay, maybe my conclusion changes to that way, or whatever the case may be, is right. Like, it's it's a skill that's tough. It's really tough, like filtering out what's important and what's white noise and all of this stuff, because there's so much information going on, so much information. And Some of it's true, some of it's not. Right? I said one really not true thing that carbon dioxide was most of the atmosphere. And then I corrected, right? But sometimes people don't correct because they don't know. And that's a weird thing too, because you want to say, because you want people to kind of speak their mind. And then I'd hope that let's say I didn't Google it and I didn't correct it or whatever. I'd hope that somebody in the comments would be like, hey, actually, by the way, it's mostly nitrogen. And I'd be like, oh, I learned something new, and I've taken that new piece of information, and now I've adjusted my like worldview or like worldview or opinion on the subject, whatever you kind of want to say. Um, I think something that gets lost a lot is that people um should not be right. You have beliefs that are yours and principles that are yours, but then you have opinions and other stuff. And I think people need to understand that people are not their ideas, but people also need to be open to adjusting and changing their ideas if presented with new information. And I think that that sort of discourse would help go a long way. With I'll put air quotes the division, because I don't really know. I talk to people who on paper would um disagree with me on a lot of things, but like generally speaking, we agree. I think a lot of people agree on most things. Like, hey, we should probably term limits in Congress might be a good thing, or we probably shouldn't be going into unnecessary wars because we're 30 whatever $1 trillion in debt, and we shouldn't be. I don't know. There's just a hand like people want the same things generally. I think people just disagree on how to get there. I think if people kind of realized that or came to that conclusion that I don't know. I In the comments, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like people just generally want to be able to kind of have the freedom to pursue what they want to pursue and have the ability to make it happen. And by ability I mean not be in 150 grand of college debt or like things like that. Um I don't know. Is that a fair assessment of the situation? I feel like it is. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Like at the end of the day, like you guys just want to be left alone or like I don't know because there's so many people and I forgot what the law is called. You can only have like 7 close friends and then it's like 50 next rung down and then 150 acquaintances or whatever. And then after that, it kind of starts to like, then after that, whatever the number is for people you recognize. And like, we weren't meant to be in these large groups and stuff. Like, just leave me alone. Let me do what I want to do. As long as like, you're not harming me, I'm not harming you. We're good. I don't know. Maybe that's too hippie. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. All right, let's see. What other news things do we got going on? AI, don't know anything about that. I think I said that already. While I'm looking, I will say some things about fitness though in the holidays. Like it's okay to go eat and have a beverage or whatever you guys want to do for Thanksgiving. Well, Thanksgiving already happened, but Christmas, like one day is not gonna ruin what you're doing. But treating Thanksgiving to Christmas like it's all the same thing, that will ruin it for sure. So be mindful of what you're doing. Even just going on walks, little things can be helpful. Um, so take note, stay on track. You don't gotta wait till January 1 to start doing stuff. You start now. You'll feel better. Like today, feeling under the weather. Didn't want to record this. Didn't want to hop on a stationary bike. Made myself do both things. right? And half the battle is just showing up. So I showed up like for 30 minutes, not super high resistance, but made myself do it. Made myself do this. Supposed to be a short one, but we're already a good amount of time in. And I showed up. Maybe this is not my best episode. Who knows? Although to be fair, it's only my second solo one. So we'll see. Let's see. We know war is awful, so why is it making a comeback? That's kind of what we talked about a bit ago. He's talking about like, let's see. Also on Rogan, a guy came on. He's like an Air Force intel guy. He was like, "Yeah, aliens are real," and I was like, "What the hell?" So the whole alien thing is interesting because it's like, okay, so we found some stuff. We've got some biological remains or whatever. We got some down flying saucers and stuff. All right, nice. Now what? So we're not alone for sure. And what would really suck is like us to be squabbling over here, threatening to nuke each other. We've got like the Death Star just hanging out. Like I feel like that's not a good look. Um, but also then makes you wonder like who built the pyramids and stuff. There's this theory called the Younger Dryas impact theory is what it's called. And it kind of says that there was human culture or civilization like 12,000 plus years ago. I know that right now is kind of common, like 4,000 BC is kind of when like Sumeria and all that started, Tigris and Euphrates rivers and et cetera, et cetera. Um, but go look that stuff up on because some of their pottery that they found in Egypt, like, is so perfectly symmetrical that like modern machines can't even get that. Or it's like within like one width of a human hair, something like that. And so there's physical evidence that some sort of they call it cataclysm wiped out a bunch of stuff. Whether I think it's like comet or asteroid impacts and various things. And the explanation for that is like that's where all the stories of like a great flood come from. Um, I guess it's common across like Mesoamerican culture and obviously Moses and was it Moses? No, Noah. Damn. See, this my brain going. First nitrogen, now Moses. Noah's Ark and all that stuff kind of go cross cultural. Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, the super old structure, I think it was carbon dated back to like all these a lot of these structures are carbon dated back to like 12,000 years ago, something like that. Um, and then the Sphinx has a lot of water erosion on it, which hasn't rained there for forever. So I don't know. It's super interesting to think about. Like, how far back do humans really go? Because the date keeps getting pushed back. I think it used to be like 25 or 30,000 years ago, and now it's like I think they found some. Let's see, oldest. We'll Google that one too. Oldest Homo sapiens remains concluded at least 230,000 years old, according to a quick Google search. So yeah, man, like, let's see, there's another quick one. Humans first appeared on Earth at least 315,000 years ago. Yeah, so like just say like 230 or what, like that's so if the original human was around, we'll just say 230,000 years ago, are you gonna tell me that there's no shot that they couldn't have come up with some wild stuff, and then something happened that wiped them out. Like, it just feels improbable, especially with like, oh, you're not alone. So, well, like, what if, I don't know. And apparently we passed through some sort of, well, let's see, pass through meteor shower every. I thought there was. I thought there was some sort of like meteor thing that the Earth passed through every like couple years. I don't know. I could be making that up. I can't find it based on quick Google search. But anyways, you can tell me like the probability that over 250,000 years or 230,000 years that we couldn't have come up with some crazy stuff, built the pyramids, and then got knocked out by like anything. Because like it's like one meteor or whatever knocked out the dinosaurs. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Crazy to think about. All right, I'm gonna end this one here. Thoughts in the comments, please, 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 please. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time.
Peace.